Hello everyone. Welcome to what is it? It's week number 6, week number 7, I can't remember.
Week
Uh
number 6.
week number
Sounds
6.
fine.
Yeah, it is. I cannot It's been a month and a half since we started this show. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. And we've been nice and consistent. Wednesdays will vary an hour plus or minus. And every episode I say the same thing when we start, where there's a ton of news going on.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it always happens on Wednesday.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Wednesday's just it's the peak of CS news. It allows for the time to go by and I don't know. It's just perfect. But I got a couple of things to shout out before we get started. Of course, I need you guys to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I believe we're getting around the point of 100 subs, but you guys have been awesome with the support week in and week out. So make sure you smash that subscribe button and follow us on Twitter at Xner20 and at CounterNature on Twitter. So make sure you hit those two up. I'm sure there'll be links in the description. So also, last shout out before we get things going. Make sure you check out the main rankings video. It's had a lot of success. Shout out to Nova for hitting
Big
us up
shout
with
out.
that. It was awesome. It was fun for me to watch, even though I don't really keep an eye out on main too much, but definitely kept an eye out just to support the channel. So big shout out to him. That video was so in depth, and for how many teams are in a main, it kind of blew my mind. Not gonna lie, but
Yeah, it was 115 teams, and that
yeah.
was like at the end of it, and yeah, it was a quick glow up for Nova and a quick
Oh yeah.
lesson in CS opinions. He got a ton of
Oh
good
yeah.
and bad feedback, but I mean, yeah, it
It's
was a lot of
just
work.
that what's gonna happen, man. People
Yeah,
were up and down. I mean, I got a lot of support for my like my advanced playoff predictions or whatever, but I was very wrong with that. I learned something. So it is a good lesson, but yeah.
I gotta say one more thing. I see that your MDL glow up back there, the G
You see the
Fuel.
setup?
Dang, wow,
Yeah.
they're treating you right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I had to go to the gas station to buy these, but I did it, and it's all to hopefully rise up the ranks, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's the way to do it.
Yeah,
That's the way to do it.
gotta support the plugs, man.
Um, dude, so yeah, I mean, like, kind of going back to what we said about Wednesday. I know I was talking to you before. I was like, yeah, I don't really have time today to do this because we're doing it an hour early. Like, can you please like take care of it? But like, it was impossible for me to take my eyes off of Twitter with with the news that we're gonna be starting with today.
Dude, it's nuts, man. So obviously, I'm sure that you guys could have predicted our little our kickoff here for the episode, but of course it's gonna be all of these coaches getting banned. I mean, when I saw this, it kind of blew my mind. Not gonna lie, like
Yeah,
it's like I was not expecting that whatsoever, and it's a really tough time for like heroic specifically. Hunden, uh, I saw on Twitter like Hunden era was just 22 hours. And it's just a bummer for CS as a whole. I'm sure that we can deep dive into it, but of course the three main bans that came out earlier this week were Hunden from Heroic, Dead from MIBR, and Machine Gun from what's his team? Machine Gun from Hard Legion. So, I mean, some really big bands going out there.
and it was someone from FURIA as well, right?
Yeah, that was today, I believe. Kind of the news broke. Uh,
That's yeah, big L's for Brazil down south.
yeah, yeah, no, like that's just so tough, man. I know that like Dead specifically kind of blew my mind, and I feel like this is just a talking point at this point. But like judging people on character and then cheating in a game is just blows my mind. Like I am shocked that that was like the case though. Like really, like I feel like Dead was one of those people leading the charge when it came to like integrity and stuff, judge and steal, and then of
Yeah.
course, I mean his like cheating specifically was really hard to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's been tough also kind of seeing some of the conversations go on. First of all, this is not over. Every hour of the day, there was like more news coming out and stuff. And like honestly, I kind of see a little bit of like an undertow happening on like the top tier like caster scene and player scene and coach scene. It's like a lot of really weird gray area finger pointing is going on. I feel like there was a Twitter thread with Moses and Pansy coming out, kind of like saying things where it's like, oh, like did you know about and not say anything, and keeping up the livelihood in like the esports scene. So I feel like there's a lot more news to come out.
Yeah.
And I'm going to kind of pause there because I do want to talk on some other subjects around that area, but yeah, this is not over by any means.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like it is a huge gray area, and like for the teams as well. Like, I don't know how you would ever get the comms if there was like recording going on during that time, or what the deal was. But like what about the teams? I feel like we're just waiting on that to come through. Like whether or not the players in these games are gonna face any penalty. I know that they've already forfeited. Sorry, that's too much game fuel.
Too much game fuel.
They've already forfeited their spot in their spots in their leagues, which they did cheat in. So I mean, if we read there, I believe it's specifically like Hard Legion doing it in a qualifier, and then MIBR losing out on Road to Rio. I'm not sure what that entails, if they're not going to be able to go to that event as a whole, if they're just totally disqualified.
What team are you talking about?
MIBR. Like,
I think MIBR is out of there. I don't even think they're going to qualify for their own own home major in Brazil. I really don't think so, even without this.
Yeah, that's so
straight
true.
up. Canadian, yeah, couch is lit. I am vibing right now, hard. Got my sweatshirt, sweatpants on.
Is it cold up there in Cincinnati?
Dude, it's colder here than it is in Chicago.
Really?
Chicago weather really took me by surprise. It's more extreme than New York, which is where I'm from and live.
Yeah, it's so windy up there. Yeah.
Yeah, like their summers are hotter than New York, or it can get hotter, and their winters are colder. But it's still hotter than Cincinnati. I don't know. I'm not a weatherman by any means.
Yeah, man. I've definitely spent some time in like Chicago. I mean, obviously Kentucky's just nasty in the summer. Like, it's just foul. But like in terms of heat, but yeah. I mean, besides that, like going back to the coaching things, like I'm not sure if this totally disqualifies them. But again, like there's so many gray areas. Like I feel like they still need to figure stuff out. Like I know that I believe it was ESC. Like I think Faceit did some investigation in their leagues. CS Summit just fully banned. I believe it was MIBR. For a certain period of time. Because of what they did in that tournament. So.
And we were talking before. It's like Valve hasn't really done anything yet. Hasn't had a say. So it's like. I'll go into this subject. I was watching. I should have taken the time to look up who it was, but whoever the esports guy is for ESPN did an interview with Steele, and Steele was kind of giving his perspective on, how he felt about his ban from Valve and kind of like the impact, and how he was saying that like it was kind of like a statement, and they banned him and kicked him out of the scene and kind of left it there instead of trying to enforce and prevent it in the future. It's like, oh, like we banned Steele, so like now we're good. Now with a situation like this, where it's like more than several teams have this cheating scandal just from like the first day or two of investigating at the highest level. And so it's like, what do you do if you're Valve? On the one side, it's obviously horrible, and like with the current scene of Counter-Strike, with what's going on, with Valorant kind of coming into it, and like just having slow amount of updates for Counter-Strike.
Yeah,
it sucks because you're piercing the integrity.
Yeah.
But it's like on the one side, so that's bad on that way, right? But on the other side, maybe this is good. I'm trying to look on the bright side, where Valve and like the CSGO team wake up and really start to try to address some of these like deep-rooted problems in the community right now. That's the only kind of ounce of I
really like the optimism.
Yeah.
I do, and I was trying to hold on to that all the time. Just hope that one day Valve will wake up and realize that how like precious CSGO is to so many people. But
yeah,
it is hard to say, man. It is. definitely depends on what they're gonna do here.
Yeah,
Their action's gonna really mean a lot, and I think if
it
people
will.
continue to pressure, I feel like this is only gonna get worse, because the guy that really was doing the research here, I need to find his name because we just got to give him the most credit for this. It's Michael Lewinsky. He's I think he's an ESL referee. Um, went
Yeah,
through 1,500 demos, and then after he went through the 1,500 demos, he's like, I've got 1,000 more to go in like the tier 2 scene, which I mean I feel like it can only get a little bit worse. I don't know. Like I feel
I
like
can
tier
only
2,
imagine what was going on down in the lesser tiers. If I
right?
mean, yeah,
I can imagine it gets a little bit worse in tier 2 because I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but I imagine it gets just a little bit worse for them. So
yeah,
major shout out to that ESL admin, man. They did not pay them at all. If
that was
that,
also
like,
disturbing to see. Which is
yeah,
just like, I mean, that really, that's the theme. It's
yeah,
like the summary of it all. It's like you have like the most dedicated person on your
yes.
team handling this, and it's just like all for free. Like, oh man,
For people
that
that
hurts
just
to
like
read.
care a lot about the game, yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. And then I think my last point on it is just like it's been really weird reading kind of like the responses to this, and not even only Brazilians, the whole like demographic of the world
Hmm.
were just like, oh, like it's Valve's fault, it's this fault, it's that fault. It's like this is like one of those like if you consider Counter Strike a sport, which it's an esport, it's like there's things that you get banned for that you can do. Like you can do this coaching bug, and it's not legitimate. It's not legal. It's like
It's
I said.
against the
I
rules
tweeted.
of ESL. Like it's literally, it's in
Yeah,
the
it's
rule
like
book. Like yeah,
you can shoot steroids in any sport. You can be Tom Brady and deflate a football. You can cheat in like the World Series, like the Astros with the sensor. You can do all these things, but they're not okay and they're not legal. So it's just like that argument has been really frustrating to see come up
yeah.
a lot because it's just like it's missing the point. Like, how is this okay? How can you justify? It's just ridiculous. But
Yeah. I mean, and the kind of like difference between bands is really weird for me. I know that like Hard Legions, well, their coach was like clearly like he was cipher camming like straight up. Like, like I saw some clips, man. They had 0 people mid on Mirage for like the whole time that the guy was coaching, just because they didn't have. They had all the information. That's so huge. That totally sways games. Like not
yeah,
having to worry about mid control on Mirage, like
that's literally the
unbelievable.
map. Yeah,
And they won the map against Navi. And Navi Simple put out a tweet that literally is like, I think the translation was a little bit weird, but like called him the devil. Like, I was like, true, man.
yeah,
Like that's gotta suck to lose to that because you have no control. You have no idea what's going on. Like, imagine you're just like losing this against this team that's like not no names, but a lower tier team. Like it's
yeah.
unacceptable. And of
And I saw
course,
the IGL of movie stars was like
yeah,
sent out a tweet as
Steel.
well. He was like mad emotional. He's like, yeah, I was like really disappointed in myself, and I was
Right.
like that's bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Shouldn't be the case. So we'll see. Only time will tell. I'm sure tomorrow will be just as lit as today was
Oh
because
yeah.
like once again like the top level personalities of Counter Strike, they have their own situation going on, and like they're not going to be able to keep their mouth shut. And I think a
Hmm.
lot more is going to come out of that part of it. I really do because, and I don't want to point a finger, but like just being logical, and this is going to get spicy the second I say it. But Moses is a top tier coach. Okay,
Right.
Moses was a top tier caster. What does that mean? These two worlds connected. So it's like it's ignorant to say that these people don't really know the background of all this, right? That's all I'm going to say. Right. Right. I just have to just put it out there. But yeah, that's my clickbait for this video. Just
That's
kidding.
gonna
I
be
love you,
the
Moses.
header. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. All
Yeah. Uh,
right. Get
moving on to
me out of here. Let's go to the next topic.
yeah. So I'm gonna speak a little bit about MDL. I don't know if you got to catch the games. I got to watch almost all of them. Um, I watched the ones that I casted, of course, and then a little bit of the games that were on ESEA's channel. So starting off, we had Third Impact versus Mythic, and they came so close to closing it out. They were up like 14-12, 14-13. I
Wow.
can't remember. I don't think I was there, but they were so close. They couldn't quite do it on overpass, and yeah, I mean, it was really interesting to see Noob. I think he had a really good first map and debut in MDL, and then Fluky,
Awesome.
he did quite well as well. So I mean, props to both of them for their debut. But kind of cool to see adreN getting back into the wheelhouse for Mythic rather.
Yeah, is he gonna be like an official player, or is he kind of just
Yeah, he
standing
was
in and?
streaming. I think he's definitely going to be putting in some more work in CS. He's been streaming recently. I saw his clickbait title. He was like, he was talking. He was like, I'm going to talk about my position in this coaching bug, but it was all just like total
Oh my
troll.
gosh.
Yeah, it was
Dude, yeah, and I
hilarious.
mean him too. I like these people know about this. It's they have to, like,
Right.
right? Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. I
Can't
mean,
help myself.
yeah, yeah. I think it was all a troll. I don't think he abused it. I could totally be
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, not even saying that he abused it, but like I feel like it's just like it has to be common knowledge at that level.
Right. Oh yeah,
Um
yeah.
anyway, what is happening? There's noises behind my couch. I'm not sure what's going on. But
It's a
yeah,
nice.
it's super super pumped about the Third Impact team. You know, it sucks that they lost, but you know, bringing it close 16-14 against Mythic, which is obviously a well-established team. They won that last ESCA Cup. Um, and it's cool to see Insane, you know, put up a good fight with a brand new roster, and he's super dedicated. So I think they're gonna be doing good.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Third Impact's got some big news coming up. I
Oh
feel
yeah.
like yeah. But I we'll see in the next couple weeks what they have to
Breaking
announce.
breaking news Xner question mark.
Oh yeah, there'll be some breaking news. But
Um
yeah, I mean yeah, I feel like that's pretty much all that we've. I mean, really good debut. They didn't quite pull it out, but they're just a little off, man. Just 16-14, not bad, really. But
yeah.
moving on to PVO. Um,
Other breaking news.
another explosion in the MDL scene, man. Kind of died out. So CXZI and Viz to Incognito. So we'll get to see them tonight. Later on today. That I'll be casting. Which is X Keep Up the Comms. And then B Wills to New England Whalers and Fang and Cynic. Haven't quite found a roster to join so far, so should be interesting to see where those two go. I feel like there's a lot of opportunities in MDL right now, but it's also kind of a little bit late to be roster swapping.
Yeah, definitely a little bit late if you want to be like a, you know, a cohesive team, I guess. But with that being said, PVO dying before their first match, I guess anything's possible, and there's gonna be plenty of opportunities. Fang's a great player, Cynic as well. But this one sucks because PVO is such a like active team in the NA scene, you know, trying to make that breakthrough into like that next level, and on Twitter a lot, and grinding so much in the off season, all the
Yeah,
cups, all the tournaments, really like putting themselves out there, and they were set up so nicely to perform in this MDL season. And I don't know what happened. I haven't reached out or gotten any information on it, but
yeah,
that sucks.
yeah. They looked like a really good roster. They came pretty close to closing out versus Mythic League in the or not Mythic. It was I believe it's the Pug Gods.
Yeah,
They had a sub at the time, but they were so close. I guess now Swole Patrol
I
they did a
mean,
little bit
yeah,
of rebranding, but they
they made
came.
runs in every tournament, all those summer cups. They were
Yeah,
towards the end of them.
yeah, no doubt. Like they had a lot of good opportunities, and it's kind of unfortunate because I feel like they had an opportunity to be nearing the top of the MDL scene, but obviously it wasn't meant to be. So hopefully,
Yeah.
best of luck to those players. Um,
Yep. Rest in peace.
yeah,
Do we go on to more banging with the chaos news as well?
yeah, of course. This is kind of huge for me. I feel like it was inevitable, but still, uh, giving up his spot, to allow Chaos to kind of move forward into a major performing roster for North America, or at least able to qualify and such. So, had to give up his spot. really unfortunate that they had to give that spot up at kind of what feels like Chaos's top performance. I wouldn't say peak just yet because we can see if they're able to kind of move up a little bit. But yeah, they get MarKE in that place. I was wondering where he'd end up. I thought he was going to Triumph, but turns out he's gonna find a nice little spot in Steel's position.
Yeah, I would say yeah. I mean, Chaos, I definitely take that roster over Triumph, even without Steel. But yeah, it sucks to see what happened with Steel. But I guess it was, he had another interview with someone where he's like, it's inevitable if Chaos keeps performing and like they want to go that next level, Steel can't be there for it.
Yeah.
But he grinded a ton with them and really put them in the position to be where they are today.
Yeah, I've
So
got nothing but respect for Steel putting so much work into the CS scene despite getting like no love from Steam or anything back, which of course is kind of expected. But I like a bunch of questions. I know that Kenny had just put it in chat, but it's gonna be a big shoes to fill for someone to step into that role of IGL for Steel because MarKE's obviously not going to be that person
no.
for Chaos, so it's a weird trade where you get this really like mechanically skilled player, really good at like setting up multi-frag situations. He's always good for two, like in a lot of situations on like CT side specifically. I've noticed from him, he's just nuts, man. Like he's so good at the game, but like trading him out for Steel is not like a roster move that you would kind of expect. You'd expect to kind of get like another IGL, another person with experience for this roster. Instead, they sub out another really good IGL for someone who has really good aim. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to kind of keep up the same performance.
And I've been hearing a lot about Vanity, how he does have that ability. And the one thing I'll say to it though, it's kind of tough. I feel like as like the primary op to be that IGL, you know, right? Where it's like as opposed to like the rifle, you kind of have a more of a vision around what you're seeing. Whereas with the op, if you're scoped in and you're trying to focus on a corner peek or a jump up or a run, and you're trying to make calls at the same time. I mean, I'm not a professional, but like that's a lot of mental strain. Yeah. So we'll see though. I mean, like if there's one person that's to learn from to be the IGL, I mean, it's Steel. So, and I'm sure he's gonna help them out, right? Kind of learning through that and trying to make the best setup for them. But yeah, it's gonna be tough no matter what.
Oh yeah, you're exactly right. I think it's going to be very difficult for them to try and keep that same level of performance up with a very different roster. But I mean, moving on to kind of close this out with the MDL news. Vanity has IGL'd his whole career, and he's learned from Steel. Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, I feel like Steel is definitely like he's sticking with Chaos as an organization, which I really love. And I feel like he'll always be there for Vanity. You know what I mean? Like
for sure.
If Vanity's ever like in trouble, like maybe not during matches, but he'll always be available to Chaos, which is kind of nice. Like they'll always have him to like call upon, which is gonna be really good for Vanity. And I'm sure he's left them with a ton of stuff, a ton of information to move on. But closed out on MDL. I guess Chaos isn't really MDL anymore, but I just kind of included them in there. But like talking about last night, which is Tuesday night, the kickoff for the season. We had a lot of really interesting debuts for rosters. We talked about Third Impact. I'm gonna continue forward with RBG getting their first win. I believe it was against, if I remember, Ethereal. I could be totally wrong.
Yeah, Ethereal. Yep.
Yeah, so that was. I mean, that's a pretty solid win for them. I'm gonna check the ESEA page. Yes, it was against Ethereal. So that's confirmed. Kinship took down ex-Recon 5, which I think is definitely
a big win.
It's a huge win. I mean,
yeah, it's a big one.
I was looking at ex-Recon 5. I was like Fugly and Villainous, like with a bunch of like nutty aimers, like Jazz, Jet, and Neptune, but they underperformed so heavy.
Yeah, like, Kinship smacked them.
Like I'm talking like I was just when Villainous is is nearly top on the. He was top on the boards when Valence is top on the boards. Uh, that's I feel like there's just so much that they have to work on, and I
Yep.
feel like they'll get there if they put in the work.
Yep. And Grape coming into the
Oh
to
baby,
Kinship and his MDL debut, almost dropping a 30 bomb.
yeah,
Yeah, that Kinship org is really awesome. I mean,
yeah,
they've got like what 4 teams freaking all balling
yeah,
on all levels.
right,
Um, so yeah,
yeah,
that was really cool to see. I love the advanced kind of entry into MDL, like showing out nicely.
oh
It's
yeah,
good to see.
yeah,
It's
yeah, for sure.
deserved.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of my two highlights from last night. Definitely, the two games that kind of stuck out with me the most. But tonight, on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Xner, we got 3 games. It's gonna be uh, RBG versus I believe it's Timbermen.
Ooh.
Yeah. So kind of, I feel like those teams are having a grudge match at this point.
Yeah, they're playing a
Um,
lot.
yeah, oh yeah, they are. Rebirth, Esports Black versus Incognito. So we get to see that roster debut. And then lastly, we've got, I believe it's X Warriors International versus Kinship. So some sick games later tonight. Make sure you check out my stream. And yeah, that's gonna
I
be literally in like 15 minutes.
I love that RBG Timberman matchup. That's a sick MDL game.
It's so much fun to watch. Yeah, I feel like they take each other to the brink a lot, like in
Yeah.
almost every matchup.
Yeah.
That's all I got for
Um,
MDL news.
down to our homeland of advanced
Yeah,
real
yeah,
briefly.
yeah. I've kind of picked out a couple of games to keep an eye out on tonight. I'll start out with that, and then I'll kind of review the last couple of games. I wasn't able to watch any of them, but I checked out the scoreline. So GGPR pick up their first win. It was a little bit of a labored win. It was 16-14. Kinship Ghost they won in the overtime, I believe. Something, it was a really good map. I got to catch the tail end of that, and then lastly, Team Villainous who took their map very confidently, like 16-6, I believe. So nice couple of wins for those, and I think tonight really is the big kickoff for Advanced because there's so many games to watch tonight.
Yeah. So who you got down here as the 2 teams? You got Supernova versus Upswing. Supernova, I don't know if they found a 5th yet, because I know Fade was not able to commit to the season, so I know that they were looking for a new 5th and hoping for a primary opera. I'm not sure who they're going to play with, because I don't think they found
Yeah.
that person yet. But
Fade's paid.
yeah, I think it was like he might be playing tonight just to
Yeah,
try and
help
stay with
out.
them, but
Whalers just
yeah.
smoked Eclipse. Yeah, I was gonna mention that. It was 16-4, right? Yeah, 16-4. They just beat Eclipse.
Damn. Turn up.
Yeah, that's huge. Elite farming. Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what that roster is gonna look like, but I guess we'll figure out tonight. We'll see what sort of
Yeah.
announcements they got coming for us.
I know
With
they
that.
added Dave this season, who is an OG who I remember from my CSS days. So it's cool to see him back up at the advanced level in CSGO. That's cool. But yeah, I love that Supernova team. It's a cool
Yeah,
roster.
I like the org too. Yeah, they do a good job for advanced. But and next up I got Imperium versus 5-man op, which is ex counter nature actually. I really just want to keep an eye out on Imperium this season, how they're gonna do. They lost a big player in the likes of Heretic, who moved up to MDL. I believe he's on Secret, or no, he's not on Secret Club. Sorry, he's on Kinship.
I'm
Who's
not
he
sure to be
on?
honest.
I think he won last night. And yeah, he's on Kinship now, right? Um, I just remember him having a really good second half against Recon 5, so a big shout out to him. But I want to really see how Imperium does without him. He's kind of a tough loss for them to kind of give up a really skilled opera in advanced. So kind of a tough one for them to lose, but I feel like they'll be all right. So they've got Johan kind of as a debut, and I wanted to keep an eye on that matchup. But that's pretty much all that I've got for advanced tonight.
Yeah. So you got what, 10 more minutes until your the rest of your night starts up.
Yeah,
It's a busy
yeah,
Wednesday for you.
yeah, man. It's been nuts, but luckily I didn't have to work today, so not too bad.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Well, what do you think? Are we done here?
I think that's pretty much all I've got. I know that main and other leagues have been kicking off, but I haven't been keeping a close eye on that. But yeah, I mean, again, I want to remind you guys to smash that subscribe button. We're closing in on 100 followers. Stay tuned. I believe there's going to be some stuff on Twitter coming out with advanced rankings. So keep an eye out on that as well. But that's pretty much all that I've got. Jayel, if you want to close this out. Oh! I've got one more. Flusha and the Starix situation. I think that I mean, it's kind of nuts. I feel like he's been out of the scene for so long. Flusha probably doesn't cheat. So that's my take. I don't know why that's even relevant anymore. Like, yeah.
Someone
Like,
that was who was it? The NaVi coach that said that?
Yeah, ex-NaVi coach. Yeah, he's been out of the scene.
Coach.
I mean, he was like huge for NaVi when they were having a good period, but yeah, I mean, kind of fell off the map.
Yeah, give me the proof. But yeah, I don't know. That kind of goes back to the beginning of this episode where it's just like,
why are you even doing this, man? Yeah.
Let's see what the Valve and CSGO team come out and say. But I mean, like, if that accusation is true,
then it
clearly means that they're protecting that situation. And so,
yeah,
I don't know. Like we said in the beginning of the show, like, this week's not over.
Yep.
There's gonna be a lot more news. Tomorrow's gonna be a lot more news. The weekend's gonna be more news.
It's gonna be a grind for CS. We gotta keep our heads up high, keep doing our thing.
Chug our game fuel.
Game fuel needs to sponsor us, man. Like, come on.
Yeah. G Fuel and Coke.
Yeah. Come on.
All right.
I mean, that's all I got, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. For week number 6, episode number 6. We'll be back next Wednesday. Same time, same place. Subscribe, YouTube, Twitter, follow us, and follow us on Twitch as well. Keep up to date on all the latest news. I'm sure you'll be streaming some games. I'm not sure if you specifically, but Counter Nature will be streaming some games this season on this channel. So everyone stay tuned. But thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in 7 days.
Yep. Tune into to Xner's MDL streams tonight.
Oh yeah. Peace out, guys.
Later.